Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Beginning in Columbus, where firefighters were able to limit damage to a structure that caught fire Sunday morning. It happened around sunrise at a home on Columbus's south side. Fire officials say a two-car detached garage had caught fire. The flames were kept from spreading to a nearby home and no one was hurt. The fire officials tell us a wood-burning stove placed too closely to combustible materials started the fire. Assistant Fire Chief Nathan Jones stressed in a statement the importance of making sure that wood-burning stoves are properly ventilated and supervised. We've got another mountain lion sighting in rural Nebraska, this time in southeast Nebraska. These images captured on a trail camera about a mile east of the town of Bennett in Lancaster County. County authorities say the residents on the property were awakened to their trail camera alert before sunrise Sunday and greeted with these images of the lion about 50 yards north of their residence. Investigators said the cat's paw prints could be seen throughout the surrounding area, but the animal itself appeared to have moved on. McDonald's investing $100 million to bring back customers to stores after that outbreak of E. coli food poisoning tied to onions on the fast food giant's quarter pounder hamburgers. The investments include $65 million going directly to the hardest hit franchises. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has said that slivered onions on the quarter pounders were the likely source of the outbreak. Nebraska reported at least 13 cases. Over 100 people got sick, 34 were hospitalized. Well, after 3 years of planning and construction, a central Nebraska business opening its massive and unique new apparel store. Ryan Valenta shares the significance of this new shop.
It's safe to say that small town famous isn't so small anymore. And this 7-foot tall and 28-foot wide outdoor sign behind me, believe it or not, is just one of many upgrades to the brand new store. The popular apparel shop in Hastings is still living in a small town, but it's saying goodbye to its old and cramped store and hello to a new 3-story building. The first thing that you'll notice about Small Town Famous, even before you walk in, is the giant sign on the sidewalk outside.
Yeah, it was something cool and unique that we wanted to do so people could take pictures and then get the word out that, like, hey, Hastings downtown is cool. Like, I think everyone needs a 28-foot sign because people live in a bubble and they don't pay attention, so it's been cool.
The store, known for its screen printing for custom clothing orders, now has almost triple the space of its old shop just 2 doors down the street from its old location. The extra room has allowed the business to buy another printing machine and, in general, give employees and shoppers more room to move around in.
We can now double our capacity. We have double the machines, probably triple the room, and so it's just being able to do stuff faster, better, do new stuff. We kind of found we did so many custom orders, we didn't have enough time to print stuff for our own store and then some of the stuff that I would design and sell. And so now we can get back to that and expanding that business.
Small Town Famous is now the only 3-floor retail store in Hastings. The first floor is filled with seasonal and year-round retail items. The second floor will be a fully functioning cafe serving soup, salads, sandwiches, and ice cream. And the third floor features a bulk candy section and a massive array of kitchen supplies and things for children.
Yeah, and everyone always, when they walk up, they're like, I don't feel like I'm in Hastings.
Cranston says she got the multi-level store idea from several shops in much bigger cities.
We kind of modeled it after a couple places in Waco, Texas, a place in Kansas City, a place in Des Moines, and obviously, like, it reminds me of Shields a little bit, only it's more in a historic building. But no, I don't think there's anything like this in Nebraska.
The old Small Town Famous store is being converted into a men's apparel store, which will be run by Jackie's husband and co-owner Matt Cranston. While Small Town Famous is getting bigger, Matt believes the business will still keep its small town vibes.
With our new location, I wouldn't say that we've leaped too far ahead. We're still pretty small in the grand scheme of things. You know, I know there's screen printers that I'm friends with or that I've been to that they have 6-8 screen printing machines and they have 25 to 30 embroidery machines, and we're at two presses and 2 embroidery machines, so still very small.
The public is invited to a grand opening event to celebrate the opening of the new Small Town Famous building this Saturday when doors open at 10 a.m. Reporting in downtown Hastings, Ryan Valenta with News Channel Nebraska.
Mail's getting more expensive. The U.S. Postal Service has filed a notice for shipping service price changes taking effect next year. The adjustments would raise prices 3.2% for priority mail service, nearly 4% for USPS Ground Advantage. That change would take effect January 19th. The governors of the USPS say in the statement they believe the new rates will keep the Postal Service competitive and provide the agency with some much-needed revenue. The USPS reported its 2024 fiscal year financial results, saying their net loss this year, $9.5 billion. Are you getting fewer spam calls? Well, the amount of telemarketing calls people are getting has dropped for 3 straight years, according to the FTC. The agency has released its annual Do Not Call Registry Data Book, which shows unwanted calls are down more than 50% since 2021. To decrease the telemarketing calls, the FTC has made multiple changes. Last year, the agency announced Operation Stop Scam Calls. This year, the FTC banned impersonation of government or businesses, and the agency expanded the telemarketing sales rule to protect businesses that face illegal telemarketing. The FTC has also clarified that the rule does cover AI-enabled scam calls, which is a growing threat. The FTC's National Do Not Call Registry lets you add your phone number to block most legal telemarketing calls. Well, pretty much everyone has some kind of hobby, reading, golfing, biking, but for one man in southeast Nebraska, he's crafted a unique hobby through years of trial and error. Jake Bartecki has more.
If you live in the Beatrice area, you might see Vinny DeAndre riding around town on one of his motorcycles or working the bar here at the Eagles Club. But Vinny has a special hobby, one that takes time, patience, and trial and error. On the second floor of his Midtown Beatrice home, DeAndre has what he calls his lab, a room where he's built over 30 robots in 5 years.
Well, I just build them for fun. It's kind of an art project, really, just moving art.
DeAndre is self-taught and builds all of his robots out of things he's found, be it old pieces of technology or the metal from a Razor scooter. He's built everything from a real death ray with a real laser to robots that can respond to certain senses. When getting started, he began to search for pieces at Radio Shack stores when they all closed down. But he says his passion for the hobby began long ago.
Always as a kid just taking things apart and putting them back together and building new things out of old things. Always been a hobby of mine. I've always had piles of junk that I build things out of. And I found an open source system that allows me to actually take objects and move them and control them with programming.
But the hobby isn't always easy.
I've got a loose wire right in here. Right here. Here it is.
It comes with its fair share of challenges.
Because these right here, this is the Arduino unit that is a nice microcontroller.
Continued repairs come with each project DeAndre takes on. He says what keeps him invested is proving to himself he can overcome the challenges building a robot presents.
Just the curiosity to see if I'm able to make things happen. And a lot of times, if something stops working, I'll just use the parts and cannibalize it to build something else.
With such a unique skill set, you might think DeAndre would try to turn his passion into a career. But for the love of doing it for fun, that's not his plan.
I kept it as a hobby because once you start getting paid for a hobby, something like that, it stops being fun. It stops being what you want to do and you lose your passion for it. And this way, just doing it for fun, it's still my passion and I've enjoyed it for years.
In Beatrice, Jake Bartecki, News Channel, Nebraska.
And finally, the UNK football team honored 26 seniors during its final game. On Saturday, Michael Shively spotlights one Loper whose brief stay in Kearney is leaving a long-lasting mark.
When Reagan Jones entered the transfer portal last winter, he didn't know where he'd play his final season of college football. Thanks to an old connection, the Wichita native wound up in Kearney, a decision that's enriched his life on and off the field.
Coming here definitely changed my life a little bit, from the coaching staff that I wanted to play under to the people I've met to all the new friends that I have, that some of them will be in my wedding and a lot of them will be attending mine.
Head coach Ryan Held immediately targeted the quarterback when Jones left conference foe Missouri Western. The two have known each other since Held was at Nebraska and tried recruiting Jones to play defense.
Sometimes the stars have to align, And so it really has been a nice storyline here as we finish up this season.
Along the way, Jones has collected some of his top football memories, including a win over perennial power Northwest Missouri State.
Reagan Jones finds the end zone.
It kind of showed everybody that we weren't here to mess around, and then obviously the one at Missouri Western was huge for me.
About his return to his previous school, Jones engineered a 69-yard drive that led to a game-winning field goal as time expired.
Steps up over the middle, darts it, complete.
That one was something different, and then obviously it meant a lot to my family as well.
The kick is on its way, it wobbles, and it is good. Kearney wins it.
Jones hopes to draw from his playing experience when he trades his helmet for a headset. He plans to start a career as a college coach.
Football has a lot of life lessons. This is the greatest team sport ever invented, so you get to learn a lot along the way, which I have, and instilling that on people younger than me.
He has the endorsement of his current head coach.
I think he's really smart. I think he sees the game really well. He understands concepts. You know, he's a really good leader, and I think that if that's what he wants to end up doing, I think he's got a bright future doing that.
As he wraps up his life-changing stop in Kearney, Jones is confident in the program's future.
The Lopers are here to stay, and we're going to make a big impact on the MIAA soon.
In Kearney, Michael Shively, News Channel, Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.